let's introduce Dr. Federico, presenting an integrated telerehabilitation system, preliminary results of a neuromotor teletreatment in people with a stroke.
Good evening. I'm Sara Federico. I'm a physiotherapist and I work in Camillo Hospital of Venice in the Laboratory of Neurorehabilitative Technologies in Telemedicine Unit. So today I will show you our preliminary results of our integrated telerehabilitation system regarding neuromotor aspect and also some qualitative aspect. So, we already knew that there is the need of the creation of new pathways in telerehabilitation. We need more evidence, we need evidence of higher quality, we need bigger samples and less heterogeneity. We need to change the field of intervention. The main studies are only focused on one field of intervention, and there aren't any cost-benefit analysis. So, the Italian answer to these needs is the creation of a telerehabilitation network for the continuity of care, which is a network of 18 Italian research hospitals. In particular, 8 of them are the participant ones, and San Camillo Hospital is one of them. So, the aim of the project is to evaluate the feasibility of an integrated neurorehabilitative system in people with a stroke. The main aim is in the future to create a management model of home telerehabilitation. The methods were previously showed by my colleague Luisa Cacciante, so I will move on. The difference is that I will focus on the motor variables. So this is briefly, this is how we do our treatments. During the hospital admission, we enroll the patient. After that follows a period of monitoring, and then when the patient is about to leave during his hospital, previously his hospital discharge, we do an initial evaluation. Almost a week before his discharge, we do a period of training. And sometimes, often we do this training with his caregiver, his or her caregiver. After that, it follows a period of treatment that lasts 6 weeks. Each treatment is of an hour a day, at minimum of 3 times a week, to a total of 20 sessions. After that, we do our final evaluation in which we give some qualitative questionnaire. So, the integrated approach is that we want to develop a system that can make possible to do a neuromotor, a speech language, and cognitive rehabilitation. Each treatment is based on the remote control of a special home tablet workstation that have an online and bidirectional connection via internet with a tablet that is placed in the patient home. This is the environment that is in our hospital. This is called the telecockpit. As you can see, is a big screen that is split into 2 parts. On the right, we see the patient through the camera of the tablet. And on the left, we see the screen of the tablet screen that we can control. Okay, the software we use is the virtual reality rehabilitation system that provides us to perform some exercises in a 3D virtual environment. Exercises are reaching and catching exercises. And we can perform exercises for the upper limb through the use of associated devices that are, as you can see in the lower figure. It is called the key wand, and it is a cinematic motion tracking for the upper limb. And we also use some inertial sensors that are called KIMU, and are over there in the upper figure are that little one, orange, that can be applied on the lower limb and on the trunk through some Velcro stripes. We can control the tablet of the patient, and we can make a customized treatment, because we can change the sensitivity, the number of repetition, the time of the exercises, and so we can change the difficulties according to the patient needs and to its needs. Okay, here are our results. The treatments are all ongoing. These are the results of our first year. We enrolled 17 patients, but we analyzed 15 patients. Patients had a mean age of 62 years. They were enrolled at 6 months after the stroke, the first and single event. And they were treated with an average of 22 treatments during the 6 weeks. As you can see, there were some statistically significant improvements after the therapy. We see regarding clinical data of motor function, we have an improvement in box and block in an OLPEC test, in Fagel-Meyer assessment for the upper limb, in motor and in pain and range of motion, and in the total subscores, and in the modified Bartel index. Now I will briefly show you some qualitative results that I will summarize towards the end of the presentation in a SWOT analysis. This is the system usability scale, and we can infer that the patient didn't need to learn a lot of things before using the system, and for the patient the system is very easy to use, and so mainly results are these. Regarding the satisfaction, patients are very satisfied of using this system, and some patients didn't find it easy to do some exercises, and for the patient it was very easy to contact the healthcare professionals. This is the control chart for the technology acceptance model. Regarding this questionnaire, for the patient, the system was very safe and secure. They feel resecured by the system. And then in this sub-item, we can see that half of the patient saved more than 1 hour of traveling time thanks to telerehabilitation. So we can say that patients that received our integrated telerehabilitation system improved in motor performance quantitatively and quantitatively. So they improved their activity of daily living, they well accepted the system, and also saved economic resources. So the main strength of our system is the fact that the system is its security, its ease of use. The system is clear, and the patient feel very pleased to use it, and the patient feel at ease using it. The patient really appreciate the constant presence of a dedicated personnel for the assistant. And they appreciated the fact that can be in contact with the rehabilitation staff. And they well accepted the technology, even some patients that have never used a PC before. The weakness is that for some patients, some exercises are not always simple, and using the system for some patients doesn't allow to fully understand their psychophysical condition. Regarding the opportunities, for some patients, every patient had the resources to use the system, and they recommended it, and they saved more than 1 hour for the travel time. And but some treats is that some patients do not believe that they will be some experts in the system. So recommendation for future study is that we need to understand what is the characterization, what patient can have bigger improvements with the telerehabilitation, and this is a small sample, but already these preliminary results of 15 patients maybe starting points for improve this system, because they already show their strength and their weakness. So our aim is to transfer in the future this into a national scale in a wider range, to have a standardized model of care, and to have an equal access to home care. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Any question from the audience? Okay.
Thank you very much. You had a number of people with aphasia in this study. Did they have any extra difficulty or show any difference in the results?
My colleague previously have shown you that even a patient with severe impairment can easily do the exercises. So we hadn't big problems with patients. So it was patient and also caregiver.
And visual problems, hemianopia or anything like that?
Our problems. Yeah. For the patient, I mean, for their pathologist, no. Sometimes some technical problems, I would say, maybe for internet connection. These are only the only problems we had.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. I think just a comment. I think talking about recommendation, talking about what is next. I think what may determine a very big difference is the time of use of this technology, of this approach. I mean, coming from some colleagues of engineer, informatics, what can be very different, be crucial on the effect of this rehabilitation is the effect of extensive use of this technology. I mean, if a patient can use these techniques all the time, he wants to use it. So it's not just limited to a schedule, to 1 hour, one day per day for a week. So it's important, I think, on the effect to consider an extensive use of the technologies in comparison to a very strict, limited use, and then I think the results may be very different.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that through the evolution of the technologies, I think it will always be it'll always be easier for the patient and also for the clinicians to use telerehabilitation. I think, to our experience, I think that it's feasible. I mean, this is our preliminary results, but we think that it is feasible. Okay.
Yeah, I think, this suggestion came from informatics, so probably from the technological point of view is feasible, so we have just to grow in this idea. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.